Life is a journey full of many twists and turns, and definitely surprises. Well, we don't always know what the direction of our life will go in. So in this video, I'm going to share with you life lessons that, if you embrace them, will drastically change your life. So stick with me. Hey everybody, this is Sharon Koenig of fearlesspursuits.com, and welcome to another episode of Fearless and Power Tube, where I provide strategies on helping you win at life. So if this sounds like something that you want, go ahead and hit that subscription button. So let's get to it. So oftentimes we feel like we really want to improve our life, but we often feel like our life is so complex and overwhelming that we really don't even know where to start. So I believe that learning and understanding the life lessons is the first place where we should try changing our life. So it's no surprise to you that the very first life lesson that I want to share with you is failure is your friend. That's right, failure is good. We need to embrace failure, and a lot of times we feel like we're trying to avoid failure at all costs. Failure is the one thing that seems to bring us down. It hurts our feelings, and it often sets us up for believing that we are not a success. But actually, the fact of the matter is that these are lessons. Failure in and of itself is a lesson that we can learn things from. We can learn how to actually succeed. We can learn what's not working, and then learn to adopt new skills and new strategies to go after that success, whatever it happens to be. So remember to embrace failure and just put your feelings aside and say, failure is good and I am learning from this. So that is a very powerful lesson. So the second lesson that I think is very important is materialism often ruins lives. And I know a lot of people will say, hey Sharon, you know, I really want that house on the hill. I really want that Louis Vuitton purse, right? I get it. We all like really nice things, right? But oftentimes it puts us into debt. It actually sets us up for sometimes anger when we think we have things, possessions, and then maybe they get ruined somehow. It can really upset us and throw us over the edge, and then we have a little tantrum, right? So oftentimes this really impacts those that are around us in a negative way. So understanding that there is a fine line between wanting to have things but taking it too far and becoming angry over it. But worse is going into debt. So obviously, debt is actually a life lesson in and of itself, right? We want to make sure that we are not in debt, right? There are some situations that we feel that are very important for us to go into debt. These days, we need to have credit scores. We need to have a very good credit score. So that's one of those situations where going into debt is something we cannot avoid. So the fact of the matter is that when we think of these kinds of life lessons, we have to go out and buy these things, but understanding that we have to pay them off right away. That is so important, and a lot of people forget that we have to use credit cards in order to buy things, but we have to make sure that we pay them off to increase our credit score, because after all, we can't go after buying that house unless you're a wealthy person and you can buy it with cash. So understanding those concepts and applying them and embracing them into your life is very important. So another life lesson I think is really important, and if you've been following me for any length of time, you knew I was going to throw something like this in here. Exercise is life. Yeah, it's really a super powerful thing for you, and it's not something that we can actually say that we're going to just do next week or something. Literally, if you want to improve your life, you need to put exercise in your day, even if it's just a little bit, like a walk or something. And that's something that you want to put in your day every single day. And I know that life gets very busy, especially if you have a high-powered position somewhere and you're working like 50 or 60 hours. But understand that there's got to be some balance there. And exercise is a good place for you to start. It'll help reduce your cortisol. It's going to help make you feel a lot better. It's very powerful to know that exercise is going to impact your body in a very positive way. So I believe that that's something that we all need to bring into our life. So getting on to the next life lesson. So sometimes we're wrong, and that's just so hard for people to understand. So being wrong is something that we all have to accept, but it's difficult for some of us to really embrace. But it's a life lesson. Just get it through your head. Sometimes you're going to be wrong. So if we can go through our life with an open mind, trying to figure out if we are wrong, we're not talking about living your life on a moment-to-moment basis, trying to decide whether you're wrong or not. But when someone calls you on it, be open to deciding whether or not you are wrong, and to accept that it's possible that you could be. So these are life lessons that will really, really help your life because it opens your mind more. So speaking of opening up your mind, another life lesson that I think would be really powerful for you is to understand that change is not bad. So oftentimes, especially I think our different personalities, some people are more apt to embrace change where other people are not. So I think this can be something that is very powerful for us if we just have an understanding that change is actually good for us. So it changes things in our mind, in our body, and in our state. It gives us variety, which is one of our human needs. So understanding that change is not bad in and of itself. So we need to, again, open up our mind and be ready for that, and to accept that change can be really good for us. And after all, we're talking about winning at life here. You can never stay stagnant. We're talking about just changing by 1% every single day, and it's going to compound, and you will drastically change your life. But you have to be open to the concept that change is good for you. So on to the next lesson, the next life lesson, I would say would be learning is powerful. That's right. I believe that we need to learn something new every day. And I like to read books every single day. Not an entire book, don't get me wrong. Because the bottom line is that when you read a book, you don't want to just read it for the sake of reading it. You want to take the lessons as if you were maybe in college, and you're making notes, and then you're actually applying the lessons versus somebody who they're just reading books for the sake of reading a book. Right? What we want to do is we want to learn. We want to open up our minds and learn new things. So if you can just understand that that is a life lesson that you would adopt into your life, into your routine, just as much as you would exercise your mind. It's so powerful. So another life lesson I think is really powerful is to understand that it's never too late. Well, what do I mean by that? Well, a lot of people feel like, when you get to a certain age, your life is basically over and you can't do anything new. You can't succeed at anything new. You can't learn new skills, and you can't, live out those dreams that you said that you wanted. Well, you know what? I believe that it's never too late. And I'm a testament to that, because I had to, put my foot down and say that I really mattered and I was important and my dreams really were important, and I had to go after my values. Essentially, I was living my life for someone else, and I was not living my life according to my own core values. And that is another life lesson right there. If you don't know your life, if you don't know your core values, that is a red flag. You need to understand what your core values are, and then take a look at how you're actually living your life. Understand whether or not you are living by your core values. And oftentimes what we want to do is we want to be surrounded by other people that have the same core values as us. When you think of a relationship, especially an intimate relationship, we want to make sure that we're in a relationship with someone who has values that are closely related to ours. This is so important. we realize that a lot of the relationships that are going wrong out there ended because of the core values. Each person didn't have the same values, and you can see why that relationship would end. So that brings me to the last life lesson that I wanted to share with you in this video, and that is love matters. It's so appropriate when we start thinking about the way that we live our life today. We're so busy with work. Some people are working 50, 60 hours and they're leaving their spouses at home and they're wondering why their relationships are failing. Well, like I was talking about in the last life lesson, it's the values. You know, whether or not love is at the top of your core values or not, understand that we humans, we're put here on this planet to love each other, to love the planet, to love the creatures on the planet. I know it sounds a little hokey and everything, but it really doesn't matter, because it's so important for us to understand that we should love more. We are full of love. And I think that that is a life lesson that seems to be forgotten. Now understand that a lot of these videos that I create really are just reminders. But we need to have these reminders because we do get caught up into our life. We do become lost because we're living for other people's life, especially moms or maybe even that person that's working in a high-powered job. He doesn't have time to think about what is important to him. So we need these reminders to ground us, to make us feel peaceful, to make us feel whole. So that's all I have for you in this video. So if you are the type of person who is interested in winning at life, we're going to talk about law of attraction and confidence and success and mindset. So if any of those things sound like something that you are interested in, go ahead and hit that subscribe button now. And to help this channel out so that we can thrive and help more people, please hit that like button. So I will see you in the next video. Sharon Koenig, and I am out.